A very good morning to all my dear friends. I am Prashant Mavani. I hope you all are doing good. Today is 23rd October 2020. Day is Friday, and I would like to start today's discussion with this quote by Mark Twain. Humor is mankind's greatest blessing. Now, humor is like a shield. We all are going to go through some challenging things. Something is going to hit us hard out of the blue. So we can prepare ourselves, right? But we are going to get a little bit of damage. Maybe sometimes the damage is going to be something more that we can take. But humor is like a shock absorber. Humor is like a shield that mitigates, that reduces the impact of bad things on us. So this is the reason I believe humor is being termed as one of the greatest blessing for mankind by Mark Twain. With this, dear friends, at present, Navratri sale is going on all our smart courses. This is going to last till 26th October 2020. To find out more about Navratri sale, to find out more about our smart courses, all you have to do is download our mobile application. To download the PDF of today's lecture, check out my Telegram channel, and please make sure that you share this lecture with other students. Hit the like button if you have learned something from today's discussion. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. On our table, we have 4 important articles. The first one is from Times of India, a very important article, Why We Need Mobility. The second one is about the political situation of Pakistan. Third one is about COVID-19 new tests approved by ICMR, how they are going to change the way things are going on. And then the last one is about India and USA. So let's start our discussion with this article from Times of India, Why We Need Mobility. Now, dear friends, we know that we have gone through lockdown, and not just us, right? The whole world, generally speaking, has gone through a severe lockdown. And now we find ourselves like in starting days, means I am working from home from last 3 years. So for me, work from home is not a new thing. I can say that I have reasonable amount of 4 years now, right? 4 years. So I have nearly half a decade experience on how to make the most out of your work from home. Okay, I'm sure today many of you would be surprised that I had never shared this thing with anyone of you, but yeah, I have good experience with how to make the best when you're working alone throughout the day, because many times it's very boring, and you feel that it's better to go to office and then work with people, and it's more fun and things like that. So yeah, work from home is it looks very interesting and exciting when you start, but after a few months, maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year, right? It all depends on who you are, what you are working on. But there will be a time when you will feel lonely. I was having a word with some of the small kids, some of my relatives and some of my friends. They have kids, right? So I was having a word with them, just an informal chat, like, how you feeling? You're living this long vacation, and this is not the first time I asked this thing. When it all started, at that point of time as well, I had a phone call, and I was saying that it would be this is a ball for you guys. You would be enjoying it. And they were so happy that no school. So kids were very happy for first few months. But now if you ask kids, then they are craving. They want to go to school. They are missing those classroom environment and, all those fun stuff that they used to do. So the big question that the big question that John Uri, back in 2012, via his paper called Mobility and Proximity, he said that why at all people need to travel with emergence of communication technology. Today we have this communication technology that we can have a Zoom chat, we can have a video conference, and you can have multiple people if you have a transcontinental family, right? If your relatives are living out of India in different continent, then as well you can have a proper, long, uninterrupted, good, high quality video call, and We find this religious ceremony. In fact, weddings are, e-weddings, e-marriages took place during lockdown and post-lockdown. This we find that so many couples, right? They married online. We find this artis. We are watching live artis, and we are watching this darshans, right? They are made live, and you can do online donations and things like that. So should we carry on like this? See, there are some good things and bad things. Let me write down. Not means I of course want you guys to think about it. I'm just going to give you some points here, right? Rough examples, and then I want you guys to think about it. This is not only good for this particular topic, but it is good for your overall critical analysis ability as well. The more you think, the more you take a pen and paper in a corner or next to a window or something and just think, right? Just allow your head to be free. Just unleash yourself. And then try to focus on a particular topic, right? Unleash yourself on a particular topic, and then you will find so many points will come out of your mind. And this is the power of mind that you have to understand, right? Anyway, I'll talk about it maybe in future. So, right, so there are some positives. The positives are, let's say if a city has, just for example, 100 individuals living in a city. So let's imagine that 50 people every day. This includes kids, going to schools, teachers, those people who are working somewhere in factory or in an office, government employees, everyone, right? So let's say 50% population of this particular city has to travel every day back and forth, right? From home to office, office to or workplace or school, and then back home. So more traffic, right? More traffic leads to more pollution. So these are some bad things. More accidents, isn't it? Good thing is the more traffic you have, that means more demand for automobile sector, for fuel, right? Then insurance companies, because they work on this threat of accident and things. So there are good things and bad things. Okay, but this article is also asking this question, that so far we used to, means everything was going offline, means most of the things were going offline, but now most of the things are going online. So why to be a slave of transport schedules, right? You purchase a ticket and then you wait for 2 hours, 3 hours on an airport. You think that you have saved time, but you have wasted your time sitting at airport. So is it like a slavery that we are following when we follow these transport schedules of bus, train, or airlines, or maybe your waterways? And in today's world, all the luxuries and all the necessities, we can have it at our doorstep. Then why we need to step out? But the reality is that for office goers, right, the workplace is not just a place where they go to earn money. They have their colleagues over there. They have their friends over there. They meet new people. They grow as human beings. Online is good thing, right? I am working online, so it may look a bit ironical if I say that online is bad. No, online is good thing. But if you ask me, then I would say just online. If you ask me that the world will become just online, then I would be the first person to say no. And I would be very loud when I say no. I would roar out loud saying that no. We need to have this physical interaction, particularly for kids and for, of course, adults as well. We need to socialize. Human being is not just this technology and everything is good. We can use it whenever we want. We can use it for emergencies. We can use it for making things more easier. Yes, we can use it, but it is not a replacement. It is something, it can work as a sidekick, but it cannot replace, and it should not replace our interaction. Or else we will learn all these technologies, but we will lose human skills. And trust me, so many of us are losing it. You find these days that so many kids, they feel so shy. They cannot talk with people because most of the time they have not practiced human skills. What they have done is they are good with PUBG or whatever stupid games that they play, it's not stupid because they enjoy it. I'm not against playing video games, but anyway, so ignore that word. What I'm trying to tell you is human skills, right? At the end of the day, everything is centered around human beings. Whatever your service is, whatever the product that you are creating, right? It is for making our lives better. It should not destroy our lives, particularly our human skills. For students, right, school life is not just about marks. It's more about running around in the corridor, having your friends, having your enemies. You have few classmates. You are okay with those people. Few of them are like, enemy group. Then you have your attractions and love affairs and whatever it is, right? All these things add various different colors on your canvas, and this is important for every human, for every individual. One more interesting thing that I would like to tell you is that when we enter a bus or a train, and when we find that it is nearly full, then we call it congestion, we call it huge traffic, we call it, oh my god, we cannot step, or there is no seat at all. But when you enter a nightclub, and when you find people are like, if the nightclub is nearly full, then you will say, wow, this is an atmosphere. Then one more thing, I'm sure you might have observed this thing, that if you're traveling in a bus, normally people in our country, and many other cultures as well, they don't talk with each other. They do their own business. These days we find that most of us, we have our headphones in our ears, and then we are watching or listening something, and we are doing our own thing. But if there is a near miss accident, or if the tire of a bus goes flat, or if there is a tire puncture, then we find that all of a sudden this people will become a team. If something goes wrong, then they will become a squad and speak in one voice. So all these things are, and in our films as well, we see that hero, heroine, they meet or see each other for the first time in some public transport. This is a very common story, isn't it? So, and these are real things. It's not just in films. This is something that takes place here. So what I'm trying to tell here, or this article is trying to educate us, is that, see, we have different friends. A bus friend is also a different person. And moment is not just about, it's not a burden. It is something that has enriched our life. Even if you're traveling from your home to office from last many years, every single day is a new day. Right? Every single day you find so many new faces. Every single day is, because we are so used to with it, we don't observe it. But if I put a break on that thing, if I say that from tomorrow you cannot go to office and you have to stay at home and then work, then all of a sudden you will feel, for a few days you will feel okay, but then you will feel that going to office was more fun. Even though if you have to do a little bit more work, then as well, it was more fun. And when it comes to women, right, it took ages, and it took huge amount of pain, it took huge amount of energy. Big revolutions around the world took place in different societies, and then finally women got this freedom of mobility, freedom to be mobile. On your screen, the lady that you can see, her name is Jeanne Barret from France. She was 18th century French botanist, and the first lady to circumnavigate the whole world. She traveled with men, and she used to wear clothes like men, and she was dressed up like a man. No one ever knew that she was a girl. Everyone thought that the person with them is a man, but then the world came to know about her. So this is just one example of mobility. Ramanujan, a famous mathematician, he traveled to UK, Cambridge, and when he was going there, people, those days in our country, they used to say that if you cross the sea, then you are kicked out of your caste, and you basically destroy you are a curse on your caste, or things like that. And the first wheelchair was invented in 1595, and this was specially for King Philip II of Spain, who did not want gout to limit his mobility. So mobility is important, right? Physical interaction is important. Online thing, it's okay, but I think I'm not being traditional here. I'm not being, not trying to say that we are like, or I'm not trying to say that my, the point of view is not that the old was good. The mix of new and old is good, I think. Moving on, unrest in Pakistan. I think this is a little bit late, right? Particularly youngsters of Pakistan, they need to protest more harder, because in Pakistan, never been there, so I'm not sure, but as far as I know, human nature, right? You find good and bad people in every single country, in every community, in every different state, every place, every city, every society. So, but if you have good system, right? If you have good system that allows good people to reach to a leadership position, then chances are that you can increase the number of good people, right? Law and order, everyone is following rules and regulations, things are under control, things are heading in right direction. But in Pakistan, we know how things are going on. And Imran Khan, I think, is a big disaster for Pakistan. Imran Khan government is dealing with a serious political crisis. 11 opposition parties have now formed the Pakistan Democratic Movement. And this is against, they have held two big mammoth rallies, and these rallies are, means they are fed up with this food inflation. There is no law and order thing. Inflation in general is high. Gas supplies are not regular. And they have also said that this Prime Minister Imran Khan is a puppet of military. And he's not the first, and he's not going to be the last one if the way things will continue in Pakistan. Nawaz Sharif from London has said that Army Chief as well as ISI Chief, they have rigged elections, and what they are doing is they are rigging elections. They rigged elections in the past. They are continuously doing it. They are restricting media. They are harassing journalists. They are putting pressure on judiciary, and they are also destroying other democratic institutions. Now, what Mr. Khan is doing is he's sending as many members of opposition party to prison. So this is adding more fuel in the fire. And this will not change in Pakistan until and unless, I strongly believe the answer for the improvement of Pakistan is youth of Pakistan, right? Sensible, well-educated. Above all, they should be sensible, practical, and educated youngsters of Pakistan. If they take a stand, then we will finally see some change in Pakistan. And improvement of Pakistan is for the betterment of India and for the world. See, terrorism is not something that is just a problem for our country. Terrorism in any country is a threat to every nation on this planet. Polio in any country is a threat to every nation on this planet, isn't it? So that's why sorting out Pakistan is important. I think external players, I don't think so they would be able to achieve that much success. But I think internally, if youngsters, if they take a stand, then yes, we can see a change in Pakistan. Okay, enough about Pakistan. Moving on to next item. This one is about COVID app, and basically, 2 indigenously developed tests have been given green signal by ICMR. We talked about COVID app. I told you yesterday that go through this COVID app infographic, and I'm sure many of you have gone through it. It's like just like pregnancy kit, in change of color will tell you whether you're COVID-19 positive or negative. A smartphone app can grab image of the strip and convey the results, and the RT-PCR machine costs some 25 lakh rupees, but this COVID app machine cost the IIT researchers only 5,000 rupees. COVID app test kits cost about 500 rupees, and for RT-PCR you need a molecular biologist. For COVID app you need just minimum training, and that's it. Anyone can do it. So thanks to the pandemic, it has unlocked the potential of our scientists, and it has demonstrated, it has provided them an opportunity so that they can demonstrate their ability. At the same time, it has also opened our eyes for this matter that we need more funds for science, research and development. R&D is something that should be continuous. Pandemic or not pandemic, post-pandemic, pre-pandemic, R&D is something that should go on and on 24/7, 365 days. If you want to develop your country, if you want to develop your society, your school, whatever, right? R&D, research and learning new things, upgrading yourself is the only way out, right? Go through all the kingdoms, all those countries, right? You will find that it's always nation with latest technology, with latest R&D and continuous R&D, they have achieved success. Now, for the first time, on 21st October 2020, for the first time, India tested nearly 1.5 million people, and this number is going to go up. We will be able to test 2 million, 3 million, 5 million maybe per day once we have this easy to test system. While the low sensitivity of the rapid antigen tests arises from not isolating the viral RNA from the swab samples and amplification of DNA before detection, the two indigenously developed tests follows these two vital steps, the reason why the sensitivity and specificity are far superior to that of the rapid antigen test. The other thing is that you require a minimum laboratory infrastructure to isolate this viral RNA. So in near future, when we will have more small, tiny laboratory infrastructure nearby, we will be able to test more people in village area, and this will help us control COVID-19. And then we have the last one. It's about India and USA. Back in 2016, John Kerry and then External Affairs of Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj, they had a detailed discussion about Paris Climate Change Agreement to be precise. And we have talked about this thing earlier on, but for new students, let me tell you that Mr. Barack Obama, the former president of USA, played a very important role in Paris Agreement, right? He was a leader. He was for Paris. It means he was for it. He supported it, and he was persuading and doing everything to make sure that everyone follows this Paris Agreement, because this is about all of us. So that was a good thing about Mr. Obama. Now, under Paris Agreement, I'm not sure how many of you are aware about this fact, but under Paris Agreement, there is a clause for Green Climate Fund. And developed nations, they will provide, as per this Green Climate Fund, every year from 2020, developed nations will together provide total $100 billion in this GCF, and this $100 billion will be used by countries like India and other developing nations for upgrading their technology so that we can have as less pollution as possible. We can have more green energy, access to green energy like renewable energy, and mitigating the impact of climate change and so many other things. So this is something that we find under Paris Agreement. And when John Kerry came here, so he visited India, and he was persuading India. He was asking us to make sure that we sign it before 8th November. Last election took place on 8th November. So, Obama administration was asking India, it was persuading us that you signed it before 8th November so that will be a big boost for this Paris Agreement as well as image of Democrat leader Obama and things like that, right? So these are a few basic political things. Now, I don't think so I need to go too much deep into it. So India, or Prime Minister Narendra Modi, announced this thing a few weeks after Kerry left India, and on 2nd October, India ratified this Paris Agreement. So this was a big thing big news for Obama administration. Now, the history is repeating itself. It looks like that. Mike Pompeo is going to be here next week, and he is going to visit Sri Lanka, Maldives, Indonesia. He is going to have some defense ties with Sri Lanka, USA, Maldives defense ties, and things like that. And in India as well, defense ties, and there are so many other things. Now, this time around, the big topic is not Paris Agreement. The big topic is Indo-Pacific. And USA wants India to become part of this. We are, of course, part of Indo-Pacific. But what they are asking or what they want is... And one more thing, right? Let me finish this thing and then I'll tell you that thing. Okay. So what they want is we become more aggressive towards China. And they want to... In the last Quad meeting that took place in Tokyo, Pompeo said that he talked about China. He used the word China. He referred to China directly. Other countries were indirect. But he said that he was very direct because elections are not that far. So everyone understands that at present they are... It's more rhetoric as well. You know, there is a mix of rhetoric and reality that we are finding these days. So Indo-Pacific is a big thing for US at present. And Washington on Wednesday, in Washington, he said he was sure that his meetings would include discussions about how free nations can work together to thwart threats posed by Chinese Communist Party. See, he's very direct in his statement. Now, so what happened when India joined Paris Agreement? What was the result? Democrats, they lost election. We got Mr. Trump, and Mr. Trump, when he became Prime Minister, he took USA out of Paris Agreement. He even said that India and other countries are joining this Paris Agreement for this fund, right? They are thirsty and hungry for money, and that's why they are joining it. They have no concern about environment. And these were the harsh words used by USA. Now, if you are from Democrat or Republican, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, when it comes to international affairs, it's always about your country. So it's USA and India. So USA said these words for India. Now, what will happen next? You never know. What if Mr. Trump loses this election, right? What if he wins? If he is re-elected, we are not sure whether he will continue behaving the same way that he did with China, or relationship between USA and China are going to be more bad. We are not sure about it, right? So it's very difficult at present to say. But yes, there are few things that we can do. We are going to have this third India-US 2+2 ministerial dialogue, and we can talk about this BECA, that is Basic Exchange and Cooperation Agreement for Geospatial Cooperation. It is said that we are going to sign it. This is the last one remaining, one of the most important and foundational agreement between India and USA. And we know that now Australia is part of this Malabar exercise. The entire Quad is going to practice in Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea next month. As far as India-China issue is concerned, Mr. Modi has clearly said that, and India has clearly said that whatever problem we have with China, we will solve it bilaterally. And that is a very mature stand of India. The reason is that why to involve USA here? Once they come here, is it easy for us to tell them to leave our nation? No. So it is better that we solve our own problems. Yes, if we can create pressure on China, why not? Let's do it. Because they are also playing the same dirty game. What we can do is we can ask for more trade concessions, right? We can ask USA to make us part of this generalized system of preference, share 5G technology with us, and we should be given exemption from this CAATSA if we get this S-400 missiles from Russia. These are the things that we can put on the table, and we can negotiate and win these things, because at present they need us more rather than the other way around. And that's basically everything in today's discussion. Thank you very much for watching this video. Download the PDF of today's lecture from my Telegram channel. I'll see you soon with daily financial news analysis. Till then, enjoy your studies. God bless you all. Jai Hind.